we are going to talk about the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, it may be because it is part of the quadratic formula. It is the part underneath the radical. Now, the discriminant can be used to help us find the number of solutions to a quadratic equation. Here is the form of a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. When we are looking for the discriminant, make sure that all of your terms are on one side of the equation, that it is equal to 0. Once you have done this, the a is the coefficient with the squared term. It's not x squared. It's the coefficient with the squared term. B is the coefficient with the x to the first term, and c is the constant. Now let's talk a little more about the discriminant. If the discriminant is greater than 0, if it is positive, we are going to have two real solutions. Or we could say that our parabola will have two x-intercepts. Look at the quadratic formula. Do you notice the plus or minus? When I am simplifying a quadratic formula, I will have to use the plus and get an answer. I will then use the minus and get another answer. So if our discriminant is positive, we will have two real solutions. If our discriminant is equal to 0, I will just have one real solution. Because whether I go plus 0 or minus 0, it will not change my answer. And if our discriminant is less than 0, it's a negative number, I will have no real solutions. Notice the discriminant is underneath the radical. So if it is negative, I will have a negative underneath the radical, which is an imaginary number. Sometimes in math, we will say we have two imaginary solutions, but for this lesson, we will just say that we have no real solutions. Let's work a few problems. Find the discriminant of the equation 2n squared plus 7n plus 3 equals 0. Determine the number of real roots of the equation. So I'm simply going to find the discriminant. This is our quadratic equation. Everything is on one side. It is equal to 0. So I can determine my a, b, and c. A is equal to 2. B is equal to 7, and C is equal to 3. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So that will be 7 squared. It is a good practice to put that in parentheses to help us avoid careless errors. Minus 4 times a times c. 7 squared is 49 minus 4 times 2 times 3 is 24. 49 minus 24 is 25. Our discriminant is positive, so we will have two real solutions. Here is the corresponding parabola to our quadratic equation, and sure enough, there are two x-intercepts. Let's try another problem. Find the discriminant of the equation 3x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Determine the number of real roots of the equation. Be sure everything is on one side. It is equal to 0. And now you can find your a, b, and c. A is equal to 3. B is equal to negative 5. And c is equal to 4. Discriminant? Negative 5 squared, and I do have that in parentheses, minus 4 times a times c. Negative 5 squared is a positive 25. Be careful there. 25 minus 48 is negative 23. Our discriminant is negative. It is less than 0. It will have no real solutions. We can look at this on the graph. There are no x-intercepts. Let's do one more problem. This is a quadratic function. It is a parabola, and they want us to find how many x-intercepts. This is the same thing we have been doing. I'm going to use the discriminant to help me here. Here is my corresponding quadratic equation. I am looking for the x-intercepts, so I will let y equal 0. Let's substitute these values into our discriminant. We will have b squared minus 4 times a times c. 30 squared is 900. 4 times 3 times 75 is 900. And 900 minus 900 is 0. This means that we will have one real solution. Here is our parabola. We do only have one x-intercept.